So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, we just had Ritson take on Jeremais Ponce, and wow, what a fight. What a fight. And I said something, I was on a show, Last Bell Boxing, and they asked me about this fight. And I said that these undefeated guys that come from abroad that have padded records, it either turns out two ways. They either have very padded records and they turn out to be poor, because this Jeremais Ponce was 27-0, 17 knockouts. And I said on their show that guys like this come over and you don't really know what you're going to get, because the record, when you go down their record, they haven't fought anybody, and you think, is it a guy with a padded record that's undefeated? But actually he's not that great. But whoa, this guy was very good. And he absolutely battered Ritson. I like Ritson. I think Ritson's a good fighter, but I think he's reached his level. I'm not sure he's quite world level. I'm not sure whether he's quite even fringe world level. He put in a good performance in the sense that he showed he's very tough, but he didn't really have any kind of power. Now, Ritson was very big at 135, and he was walking through a lot of the British domestic guys. Now, I think he fought Patera. I don't know whether that fight was at 135. I think it probably was. And then Patera showed the vulnerabilities in Ritson. Although Ritson's very tough, got a good chin, he can be easily outboxed by a guy that boxes and moves. I actually thought he lost his last fight against Vasquez. And I thought he was very lucky to get the decision in that fight. I think most people had him losing that fight. And this fight, he was soundly beaten by a guy that was relentless, that was on him all night, didn't give him any... Just didn't give him any respect. Just literally just stayed on him. Like, it reminded me a bit of like obviously the guy that I'm gonna name, Jeremais Ponce, isn't as good, but Maidana. Just he didn't quite have the power of Maidana, but just the relentless pressure and just being on Ritson all night. Just Ritson wasn't able to keep him off, and I just felt like Ritson was taking a lot of body shots in the first round. He got caught with a body shot, and that body shot really hurt him. And it looked like he was about to get taken out in the first round. But Ritson, being the tough and brave man that he is, he managed to get through it, showed heart, showed determination. And he showed a lot of heart and determination throughout the fight, because let's be honest, it was quite one-way traffic. Ritson was doing well. He was landing his own shots, but they weren't having any effect on him. They weren't moving him. He kept coming forward, Jeremais Ponce, all night. All night, he just kept coming forward, and Ritson's punches wasn't having any impact on him. And that's, again, people don't understand that 5 pounds moving up to 140 makes a big difference, because Ritson was banging everyone out at 135. Obviously, not at world level, but, he looked big and strong. But when you move up to 140, now you're not so big. Ponce looked a lot bigger than Ritson in there. He was taller and he looked stronger. And Ritson's power, which I think he's got decent power, he walked through it. He walked through it with like it was nothing. It was a very, very emphatic performance by Jeremais Ponce, and he looks a problem. He's got a great chin. He's very strong. He's relentless, right? I'm not saying he's got crazy power. He's got decent power, average. He's not a big puncher, because if he was, I think he would have got Ritson out of there a lot earlier. But I feel like he beats Ritson into submission. That the relentless pressure all night, and I feel like he literally beat him into submission, where Ritson had nothing left. Let's talk about the stoppage. That was bizarre, by the way. I thought that was really poor by the referee. I must say, very poor. The corner threw in the towel because they clearly saw, like, the corner before that 11th round, right, said that we're giving you one more round, which I personally think they could have stopped the fight there and then, because it didn't look like he was going to win. That guy was too strong, and it was one-way traffic. They gave Ritson one more round. Straight away, Ritson got hit with a body shot. He went down. And then he got back up, and then Jeremais Ponce jumped on him, and the corner threw in the towel. And Jeremais Ponce started celebrating. Ritson looked at his corner like, what have you done? And he was disgusted. And the referee ignored the towel and let them continue fighting. And then Jeremais Ponce jumped on Ritson again, started attacking him, hitting him with some big shots. And while he was doing that, the referee picked up the towel and threw the towel out the ring. Now, my brother told me that I wasn't even aware of this rule, right? My brother told me that the referee is allowed to do that if he feels that the towel was thrown in prematurely. I'm not sure. That my brother's said that he's pretty sure that the referee's allowed to pick up the towel and let the fight resume if he feels that towel was thrown in prematurely. But I've never seen any referee not, let the fight resume after the towel's been thrown in. And it was bizarre because it wasn't as if the towel was thrown in prematurely where the fight was in the balance. The fight wasn't in the balance. It was one-way traffic. You could clearly see who was going to win the fight. On the scorecards, it was quite clear that he was ahead. And he was taking a beating in there. And the referee picked the towel up and threw the towel out the ring. And then Ritson got knocked down again, and the referee still didn't stop it. He got back up, Ritson, let the fight go on, and then he got stopped then he got dropped the third time, and that's when the referee stopped it. I just found that bizarre. I don't know what you guys made of it. I'd love to know your opinions, but I found that bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. I never seen a referee not take the word of a corner and literally resume a fight even though the towels come in. That was bizarre because he was taking a beating in there. And it's not like he had a chance of winning. That guy was relentless. He was on him, and he was losing the fight massively on the must have been losing the fight massively on the cards. Obviously, I don't know what the cards were, but it must have been way behind. And he literally had no energy. He had nothing left. Why? Surely the referee could see that. The referee's in there. Clearly, me from the outside watching it, could clearly see that Ritson was, he was done, basically. I found that bizarre. I found that whole stoppage stuff very bizarre. I've never, like I said, I've seen a lot of boxing. I've never seen anything like that. But again, if you guys know a bit more information, I'm going to have a look at the rules. My brother had a look at the rules, and he said the referee is allowed to do that. He's allowed to throw the towel out the ring if he feels that the towel's been thrown in prematurely, if he feels the fight can continue. And that's what he basically did. Because he saw the towel come in and he said, no, carry on. Which was bizarre because I swear I felt the referee went into the corner. I don't know whether it was the round when they said you got one more round or it was a previous round. And it felt like the referee was telling him, you can't take that much punishment. I don't know that's what he said, but he came to the corner and the referee said something to Lewis Ritson's corner. I don't know exactly what it was, but maybe it was something on the lines that we may stop the fight. He may stop the fight because of the punishment that he was taking. Because Ritson was taking a lot of punishment. You've got to give him a lot of credit for showing a great chin. Like, he showed a great chin. But again, like I said, I think he may have hit his level. But yeah, I just found that whole ending very, very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. And listen, I wish Lewis Ritson all the best. I hope he took a lot of punishment in there. He needs to take a good long break. And then obviously contemplate what he wants to do. Because the last two fights, although he lost this one on paper as well, but the last fight I felt he lost as well. And although it was a win for him on paper, I personally look at it and think that he's had two defeats against, one was against Vasquez, who was soundly beaten by Josh Taylor. And listen, Josh Taylor's top tier level. But for me, I feel like this guy, 24-year-old Jeremais Ponce, was young, hungry. I just think he wasn't going to be denied. He wasn't going to be denied. So for me, maybe Ritson's going to contemplate what he wants to do next. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do next, to be honest, because he lost to Patera. He's lost this one. Most people thought he lost against Vasquez. So what's he going to do? Is he hit his level? It's going to be tough for him to get a world title shot or go to world level. He's gonna have to take a step back, and is he gonna want to do that? I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Lewis Ritson. I think he's a good fighter, and I like watching him. But I'm not sure in the foreseeable future we're gonna see him at world level, because I think he has to have a few fights now, go back down to maybe European, British, and build his way back up, because that was a bad defeat. That was a bad defeat. You could come back from the Vasquez one, and if you have a good win here, you're back. You're in title contention. You know, people are going to forget about that Vasquez fight, but then to have a bad defeat after your performance against Vasquez, you must say that, you know, I don't know where he goes from here. I don't know where he goes from here, if I'm honest with you. He's going to, obviously, him and his team will sit down and probably make that decision. But I wish him all the best, whatever he decides to do. But in terms of Jeremais Ponce, what a fighter. You know, he's a really good fighter. And he's definitely in there, world level. I would love to see him against Regis Prograis. I would love to see him in there with Ramirez. I'd love to see him in with all those guys. I believe he could give all those guys a very, very hard fight and potentially even beat them. He's 24. He's going to improve. You know, I feel like, yeah, I would love to see him in there in the mix. What a fight between him and Prograis. You know, this kid is relentless and he's got a great chin. He keeps coming all night. Like, Ritson caught him with some big shots. I'm not saying Ritson's a big puncher at 140, but literally this kid just kept walking forward all night. He was relentless. The pressure, I actually think he had very good technique. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's as good as this guy and he punches as hard as this guy, but I saw a little bit of Maidana. They're both from Argentina as well. I saw a bit of again, Maidana was a world level top, you know, elite fighter, but I definitely see Jeremais Ponce as maybe looked at a bit of Velchino Maidana and watched him growing up, you know, because he definitely has a bit of similar style to Maidana. I don't think he's as wild as Maidana, but he doesn't have the power of Maidana. But he's definitely relentless. Again, Maidana proved himself at a very high level. So, you know, who knows what this kid is going to go on to achieve. But he definitely looks a very good fighter. And definitely a fighter that I want to see at world level, fighting the Regis Prograis, fighting the Ramirez's, fighting the Victor Postal. I think a fight with him and Victor Postal would be great. Yeah, I think he's in there with the world. I think he's in there with that mix. That was a very, very good performance. I was impressed. The power, I don't know. Maybe at world level he lacks power, possibly. Although, you know, he's definitely showed good power to the body. But, you know, has he got that kind of power that can turn your lights up? Probably not, especially against those guys who are far better than Ritson. Who knows? But I definitely think he's in amongst all of those names that I mentioned, and I think he can give them all a good fight and possibly even beat them. So yeah, I like what I saw today. I think Jeremais Ponce has got a very bright future ahead. I want to see him in there with all world level names, and let's see what's next for Lewis Ritson as well. But leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. What did you make of that fight? It was a barn burner. Great fight, great watch. I enjoyed it. Let's finish on this. Matchroom's last show with Sky, and now Matchroom will now be going to their to the zone. They're taking their stable to the zone, so we probably won't see Matchroom working with Sky in the foreseeable future because they've signed a new deal with the zone. So that, you know, Eddie Hearn's been great. I feel like Sky and Matchroom have worked really well and entertained the British public or the British boxing fans. I think they've entertained them, and they've had some great fights. I think, you know, we can go look at some Anthony Joshua fights, you know, Amir Khan Maidana. What a fight that was, one of the greatest fights I saw. And just many great fights, Hatton Mayweather, you know, some of the iconic fights that we've seen. Sky Sports have coveraged it, and I think for me, their contribution to boxing has been unbelievable. And like I said, I hope it continues. You know, they've signed a deal with ESPN and Boxer, and I feel like hopefully Sky Sports still stay there and still provide great content. Now, Adam Smith seems very upbeat that, you know, this deal that they've signed with Top Rank and signed with Ben Shalom, is it? I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. They've signed deals with, you know, they've signed deals. So hopefully we can get some of these. We can get some of, you know, big fights on Sky Sports, because Sky Sports is a great watch. I love Sky Sports production. I love listening to everybody on Sky. I just think everything about Sky is brilliant. I know a lot of people think Eddie Hearn played a massive part, and let's see whether the others coming in can do exactly the same. But I just love the way Sky Sports. I just love the way Sky Sports production is. I think they're brilliant. I think they're the best out there. The pay-per-view platform is the best out there. And yeah, I hope Sky stays in boxing and gives us great fights. I definitely think there'll be some big fights on Sky in the future. But yeah, it's exciting. At the same time, it's sad because a great partnership is ending. All great things come to an end, and Eddie Hearn's relationship with Sky Sports has come to an end. And who knows? You know, they may work together in the future if things don't work out with DAZN. Who knows what happens? But at the foreseeable future, Eddie Hearn will be going to DAZN, and let's see how Sky Sports boxing does moving forward. Listen, I am excited because I think there's going to be a lot of competition, and that's great. DAZN, BT, Sky Sports, the more the better. DAZN's great value for money. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how British boxing moves forward and international boxing. It's exciting times. Leave your thoughts though, guys. Let me know what you think about the fight. Let me know what you think about, Eddie Hearn's last show. What did you make of it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.